Hello folks, this is John again, and now let's take a look at how I dialed in that spacious ambient tone using only 3 plugins. So here you can see the chain that I used. First of all, just a simple noise gate to make sure I'm cutting out anything that I don't want. Well, for clean tones it's not really that necessary, but I like to be safe. Then, first important thing in the chain is the Mercurial Chorus WS1. This is a free plugin and it's a beautiful sounding chorus effect. Let's take out the delay and reverb in here. So this is just a dry tone now. Sounds very nice and lush. For the amp, I'm using Emissary. I think this is making a pretty nice sparkly clean tone, and also for lead tones I think this sounds really great for a free amp sim. For rhythm tones, not so much in my opinion, but that's an episode of its own. Then that is followed by an impulse response from the Cathalin pack. See, this is how it's written, Cathalin. And I tried out a whole bunch of free impulse responses, and just here the first impulse from this pack sounded the best to me. Most other impulses kind of add that harshness in the 2 to 3K range that I absolutely do not like for a nice and lush, clean ambient tone. And that is followed by an EQ. As you can see, I need to dip down some resonances quite a bit, and then add some brightness and take care of some lower mid so it doesn't sound so muddy. Now this right here might be due to the guitar or the impulse response or the amp simulation. You gotta see for yourself if you need to cut out some resonances or not. But I do because there is some harshness going on. Without delay and reverb effect, it's not really that apparent. But when you do add delay and reverb, then the little bit of harshness that might come in at some time is just being carried on and it gets exaggerated more and more. So I definitely need to do that in order to keep it cleaner. Now for the delay, I use the nasty delay by Variety of Sound. This sounds really great and you have a lot of options with this one. See, I set the mode to dual mono, then echo 1, which is on the left side, I set straight to half notes, and then echo 2, I unsynced it, so I just have the milliseconds, and then I dial it in so it's nearly at the same time as the echo 1, but with just enough of a difference so I get more of a stereo effect. Then here we have high pass and low pass filter on the delay, and also here with the color, this is pretty interesting. You know what, let's double the effect and let's give it a bit more feedback and you'll notice what happens. The filtering gets stronger and stronger with each repetition, and that's a pretty nice effect, but you also need to be careful. If you set the feedback too high, it easily builds up like crazy and gets really loud and just blows out your ears. So be careful with how you set the feedback, and depending on how you set the filters and how strong this coloring process is going on, then the delay might start to sound very harsh after time. And you can also give the delay a bit more of a chorus if you wanted to, but I already put a chorus at the beginning of the chain, so I don't really need that. Yeah, so this is something to check out, very much recommended. Now for reverb, I use the TAL Reverb 4. And that's just, let's take out the delay first, so we can just focus on that. Yeah, it sounds pretty basic actually, when you think about it. There's not a lot of special character to it. But depending on how you set the size and the high cuts, you can make it sound very big and lush and atmospheric. You know what, let's increase the size to full and perhaps a little bit more of a high cut. Yeah, that just sounds unreal. Okay, but if you are running Studio One, then nothing really beats the room reverb for a very atmospheric sound. Here, when you set the mode to performance instead of quality, and here you can see the settings. Oops. Ah, it sounds beautiful. It really sounds like there's something very far away, just breathing back right into your mind. You know what, for the fun of it, let me put in replica. by Native Instrument. Now this was free when they first released it. I don't know if they still have the free version available. But yeah, I really like this one as well. Put in a bit of a high cut, perhaps a bit of a low cut, so it doesn't muddy stuff up. Ah, beautiful. And now, for the fun of it, oh, come on, let me show you this plugin right here. The Bubbler by Soundtech, also a free plugin. This is a delay plugin, but a crazy one. Check this out. Depending on how you set it up, you can make your guitar sound like a synth pad, really. And I'm not sure if I should try to explain how this works. I'd say fiddle around with it yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Yeah, I just came up with a couple of different presets myself. So this one right now is pretty similar to the one you just heard, but with a little bit more craziness. This one also sounds pretty crazy. So, in any case, I hope this helped you out and gave you some ideas on what plugins you could use, free ones, to get a very nice and lush sounding ambient reverb. And that's it for this video. Have fun experimenting, and I shall see you next time.